You felt it before you found it. The oxygen somehow left the room. Her phone was turned over. Her laughs weren't for you anymore. Then you found the evidence. She is cheating. Not an accident. That's bullshit. She chose. Quietly. Repeatedly. And of course, the loud feminocracy choir handed you sedation in soft packaging. Stop me if you've heard this. Journal your feelings. Be vulnerable. Share your truth with other vulnerable men. And my personal favorite, show her empathy and accept your responsibility for her actions until she can forgive herself. As freaking if. That advice didn't save you, it stalled you. I am not here to stall you. I'm here to pull you out of the wreckage and set you on ground that doesn't move. A lot of well-meaning guys might be telling you to just cut her out of your life. They don't see the world you built with her, maybe the children you have with her, and the deep, genuine love you feel for her. You want the simple life back, the quiet Sunday that doesn't require surveillance, the dinner where her eyes hold, the week where your stomach doesn't flip at every notification you hear on her phone. You want a relationship that polices itself because your presence sets the tone. I'm here to tell you, my friend, that is not a fantasy. That is just a minor rebuild. And I will build it. Not with tricks, with the kind of structure that makes loyalty easy and betrayal so expensive it's unthinkable. Welcome to the pork car method, where I turn betrayal into bulletproof loyalty by way of ruthless masculine standards, a dominant male frame, and mating psychology you can actually use today. By the end of this episode, you will have a cheat-proof operating system that makes loyalty the path of least resistance around you. Clear standards, a controlled environment, and consequences which don't require you to raise your voice. First, understand you weren't weak. You were simply untrained. Your relaxed life rewarded ambiguity, and ambiguity breeds chaos. You over-explained when you should have simply declared. You negotiated when you should have just remained the leader. That doesn't make you broken or bad. Right now it makes you ready, because once a man sees the mechanism, he never doubts himself again. Let me confirm the thing you already expect. This was not random. The why behind cheating isn't a mystery. It's basic feminine math. The Journal of Sex Research keeps pointing to the same triangle. Opportunity, dissatisfaction, which means boredom, really, and low perceived risk. Change those variables, and her behavior will change along with it. The Journal of Marriage and Family shows that shared routines and clear commitment buffer against drift. Not because women suddenly become saints, but because the infrastructure you create makes transgression obvious and costly. And one more for good measure. Frontiers in Psychology and Psychology Today have circled this for years. Female desire responds to contrast, novelty, masculine and feminine polarity, and a personal favorite, masculine dominance signals. Sorry, I do not need you to memorize citations. You just need to internalize the mechanism, shape the environment, broadcast psychological weight, remove the ambiguity, then enforce your reality. You don't fix this by chasing. You fix this by changing your frame. When you walk into a room, the room should calm and settle. Your posture holds, your eyes rest, your breathing slows. You don't rush to fill silences. You don't audition for approval. You stop trying to be understood and start being undeniable. That shift is not performance. It is the subtraction of neediness. And when neediness leaves you, everyone adjusts. Now, the feminine tracks immovables. It relaxes into a leadership which does not wobble or change course because she had a whim. This isn't cruelty. This is polarity. Masculine steadiness against feminine movement. Presence against volatility. Pressure which doesn't dissolve just to make everyone else comfortable. You will be tempted to memorize lines. Don't. Scripts are how desperate men cosplay authority. Script sellers, the PUA community, are your first enemy. They sell you copy and paste spells and call it psychology. They tell you to, let me see if I've got this right, delay your texts by 7 minutes so she gets an itch. They farm your panic for click. Pop psych influencers are next. They turn your standards into pathologies. They wrap chaos in therapeutic buzzwords so no one ever has to say no and actually mean it. And then, of course, the femocentric harpies join the choir and reframe every consequence as control, every boundary as, well, you're being insecure, and every standard you set as, well, that's an attachment wound. None of those jerks pay the price when their advice detonates your life. We, you and I, are done with them. We do not consult people who profit when you stay confused. Here, my friend, is what actually restores order. You become a man whose boundaries are legible without raised volume. You become a man whose yes has weight and whose no comes without explanation. Since she already crossed that line, you have two clean choices. One, end it without theater and keep your standards intact. If, however, that is not an option for you because of whatever reasons, rebuild with terms that mean something. I'm going to say this one time, and please write it down. Never demand she give you details. That is a free roller coaster to hell that you will be years escaping. Your new boundaries aren't negotiable the moment they strain her comfort. You establish routines that put the relationship back on track. And I can mentor you through that as well. Consequences for her missteps arrive as promised without preamble or fanfare. If she refuses to comply, the decision makes itself. You are not a rehab center for women addicted to other men's attention. Hear me clearly. I am not selling hope. I am giving you the tools you can use to put it all back together. You want to end this searing pain. You want to sleep all night. You want to look at your woman and not see a series of lies and broken oaths. You want her behavior becoming possessive because you've become a man she won't ever risk losing again. You just want, like all the rest of us, peace, sanity, and the return of her fidelity. Stay with me, and you'll get it. Either from her or from the next woman who sees your genuine worth. I'm interested in the air changing when you walk into the room. Every room you ever enter for the rest of your life. Because you will never again mistake her comfort for respect. Look, I know your fears. You think if you enforce consequences, you're going to lose her. If a consequence loses her, buddy, you never had her. The man she cheated with wasn't necessarily a Chad, but we both know he damn well was not a pushover. From here forward, your presence sets the terms. You don't rescue people from the discomfort of the standards you create. You allow the friction to do its job. This growth and transition to power, it's not for her. Honestly, it is all for you. The day you start being worthy of being chosen is the day you stop fearing loss. And that's the paradox. The moment you can walk away, you become the man who never has to. Not because you're cruel, but because you are unmistakably worthy. I can get you there. I've laid out the mechanism, burned the false gods, and handed you the spine. Now you get to do the unglamorous part. You live it consistently enough for the world to reorganize around it. And it will, fast. I've seen it happen hundreds of times to men from every walk of life. A lot of them were uglier and shorter and fatter and whinier than you are right now. Once you become that man, you will never fall back into the old habits again. Now, would it be ridiculous if you pause the video right here, hit like so this reaches the men who need it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson, and drop a comment? Just if you're being cheated on right now, just say, yeah, me. I'll talk to you in the comment sections. I read every comment and I answer every real question. There are links below, of course, for the PDFs and the mentoring program and some other free goodies. There is a lot more to learn that I cannot pack into a video. I offer a free 15-minute call to all new clients, no obligation. Bring the facts. I'll tell you exactly what steps to take next. Just learn the pork farm method, my friend. Never be lied to or cheated on again.